welcome back to another cozy Christmas episode of the Sunny Side. I feel like you're just so happy every episode, just being amongst all the Christmas stuff. I can just see there's like a real pep in your step.
And I don't know if you can see, but do you see my Christmas case?
I did notice it as soon as you came in. I was like, it's very cute.
Christmas. Yeah, I do love it. And poor Pam is sandwiched in between.
Oh, I knew. I was
Mrs.
thinking that
Claus
it's like
and
the
Mrs.
this is like the Christmas queens are on the episode
Where's
today.
your hat?
Oh, I took it off.
Leah,
I know. I took it off. I wasn't going to wear it the whole time.
you left me alone.
I know, but look at this. But Pam, just please notice Pam dressed for a funeral yet again, ladies and gentlemen.
Those of us who love Pam dearly, one day are going to go into her closet and pull all of the gray and the black.
Okay, but I do want to say, Amy, does this look familiar with the gold buttons? That's new for me. This is from Amy.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I love it.
She hand me downs.
The thing is, you look so beautiful in color. I don't think you realize how beautiful, like you in like a bright blue.
It's true.
Or like so pretty in color.
What I should do next time you clean out your closet for me, I should get you to put outfits together and take a picture. Because the problem with me is I look at them and then I'm like, I don't really know what looks good.
Yeah.
And then I think black looks good. I just put on a black
I will
dress.
say, I really do like this sweater.
I know, it's pretty cute. Yeah.
It is nice.
I like
Thank
the
you,
gold.
Amy.
I'll have another bag for you soon.
I know. Anytime anyone ever compliments my outfits, I'm always like, people are like, that looks so good. Where's it from? Like, it's from Amy. I don't really know.
Amy, you need to get her something Christmassy.
I know I do.
Because this is
Could you
lacking.
imagine her in like a nice red? You would look so
you
nice
would look
in
so good in red.
Pam.
Red.
Red. No,
I don't know if I know.
would.
I don't think I own
Look
anything
at you.
in
She's
red.
in red. And
I
she
know,
looks
you
phenomenal.
You know what's funny? I never ever wore red before either. Did you? Are you a red?
Oh yeah, I love
See?
red.
And blonde
And
I know,
red?
but I never did it. I did like a bright blue and like yellow.
Yeah, blue and blonde.
But I never the red I own shied
I
away
love
from.
red.
But it's nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we need to. Maybe next episode should be. You should do a red debut.
Don't Amy, don't hold
Okay.
your breath. Every next episode, she's supposed to be in something Christmassy, and she's failed every friggin' time.
It's true.
I'm not bitter.
I'm gonna have to. Okay, but I felt like maybe I had to be the grounding force because initially Amy walked in with her strobing necklace and her red outfit.
I turned off the pulse.
And then Leah had a hat on that had strobing Christmas lights, and I was just like, "We're gonna have to put a warning on the beginning of this episode. May cause seizures upon viewing." Yeah,
I will say when I drove up, there was no pumpkins on the porch either.
Yeah.
Which Pam got rid of those. And
Thank God.
The circle was decorated with a beautiful Christmas tree.
Yes.
And decorations. And I wondered if you two were out there doing that.
no.
before.
Well, at this thing, I feel like Leah would love to live in this because I live on a little circle,
It's very
and
festive.
everyone's very like it's like a very community oriented circle.
Right.
So they all get in the middle at Christmas and they decorate the tree, all the kids. And
That's so
even for like
cute.
Halloween, they
Very
did it.
cute.
For Halloween, they put all these Halloween decorations. And then a little
love
while
that.
ago, we had like well, I was going to say the name of my street, but I'm not going to say that because it's
street
probably a bad
barbecue.
idea. But yeah, like everybody brought like
Aw.
a dish or whatever, and we set up tables on the circle, and then some people had like crafts out for the kids, and they had music, and
Wow. Did you participate?
yeah, oh
That's
yeah,
very
yeah,
American.
yeah, it is.
That is
It is
American, yeah.
actually, yeah. We loved
I
it.
love
It's fun.
that.
I love it.
Yeah, so we have a really sweet like little
That's
neighborhood
so
here.
nice.
Yeah,
I have no neighbors out in the country. I kind of miss that.
that's true. You don't.
Oh,
Yeah. No trick or treaters.
No,
No.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, nothing.
no, nothing. But you do have a
depressing.
gorgeous view of like a
Yes.
That's
sunflower farm across the street. Like
That's
that is pretty. When it's in bloom, it's quite something.
And we don't have to worry about our neighbors watching us jump into the hot tub naked anymore.
Do you do
Oh.
that too? Do you do that? You probably. Everyone I know that has
I
hot
mean,
tubs goes in
Or
naked.
naked. That was Leah naked together.
Naked.
Leah definitely hops in the hot tub naked.
Listen, I try not to. I do have teenage stepsons.
Oh,
Adult
you know,
stepsons.
because the phosphates in the bathing suits are so bad for the
hot tub. Yes.
So the fabric softener and everything. So like I'm just by myself, nothing exciting.
Yes.
But with my Haagen-Dazs, that's my actually coping strategy right now. Is
Okay.
my Haagen-Dazs with my headphones on, and I just sit in the hot tub and
But then
Eat
it
your ice
really
cream.
is like a bath. Like it is a bathtub. Then.
Yeah.
You're out there.
What's it
is it?
supposed to be?
Well, I just feel like a bathing suit
confused.
makes it feel less like you're sharing a bathtub.
Oh.
But I guess
Well,
that
what do you
little
mean?
piece
I'm
of
not going in
fabric-
with you naked.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's
saying people
true.
go in
Now, that's
after
where I would
you.
draw the line. But
Chlorine kills all the.
I don't know, guys. I don't know about this. I think you should wear a swimsuit.
So pretty much what Pam is telling us is that she's never coming in our hot tubs.
I'm
After our
starting
naked
to-
butts have been
my
in there.
stomach's turning a little. I'm thinking about it just all being in the bath together.
Oh my gosh, we might have to sleep this.
Okay, this gives me
No,
PTSD
this is
because do you know there was one time, this was years ago,
This one
I went for
Camp.
this one time at Makeup, I went for a pedicure with a friend in Niagara Falls, and she chose the place. I'd never been there. It was a little bit of a sketchy area, but I was like, well, whatever. A lot of times sometimes the best nail salons are whatever. So we go in, and her and we were getting manicures and pedicures. So she started with the pedicure in the water, whatever. And then I was getting the manicure, and then they had a switch. And like her feet were in there. They'd like done the scrub, everything.
No.
And then he was like, okay, sit. Now you're turning on my chair. I literally thought, oh, of course they're going to drain it.
No, I don't believe it.
He grabbed my feet and plonked me in there. I was just like, and it was like a newer friend that I didn't know that well. So I didn't want to offend her by being like, that's disgusting, but also like, that's so disgusting.
I would die.
I couldn't. It's probably close. It just happened. It was like he dunked my feet in there, and then I was just sitting there like,
Pam, I would not have put my foot in that water.
I don't know.
You just did it.
He just grabbed my feet and dumped them in, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I just got it done and over with, and I was like, I'm sure it's gone. It has to be. Someone will report that.
That's disgusting.
So it's
I think your mom's amazing. I was listening to, what story was it? I don't know her personally, but I was listening to Becky's story, and
me
there was
talking
some
about my
things
mom.
that your mom, I mean, she had me laughing hysterically about the full armor, putting on the armor before you walk out the door. And like, but just that like old school Pentecostal goodness, man. Like I grew up in that, my mom.
That was like the 90s charismatic Christian movement. Same when you said you were allowed to go for Halloween, you went for the Hallelujah party. It was like that was us.
Hallelujah party.
Hallelujah.
We had the same Satan song that we used to sing and stomp around our coffee table, my brother and I, before bath. It was like this whole like, I command you, Satan, did the same.
Oh my. If we try to do that with our kids now, they would be like, you are cringe.
Oh boy, my brother actually reads me speaking about him publicly, and I was just thinking.
And you're like, so let me just tell you the most embarrassing story.
I think we were naked running around before our bath doing the Satan march. Anyway, that is like old school Pentecostal goodness.
That's right.
Right? Oh, okay. Sorry. My eyes are very sensitive.
No, it's okay. I know. Same. We laugh until we cry many times on this.
So good
podcast.
Though. It's very healing. Actually, I don't think I've laughed until I cried in a good month. Thank you for that.
Good. That's good.
Thank you.
Because you have a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously for people who maybe follow you on social media, they'll know a bit, but I'm sure there's probably a lot of our viewers that may not know. And so tell us a little bit. We had you on before. You talked about your giant, beautiful family where you have like blended, extended with foster care and with adoption.
So not actually foster care, but kinship care, which we'll talk about the difference between the two. But yes, my big, beautiful family. They're all doing wonderfully, and awesome, and things are.
So tell us how many kids you have under like your all your children right now.
10. Is that it? 10? No, 9. So Brett and I married in 2012. He had 4. I had 3. We blended, and then Avery joined us in 2019. Through a very unexpected, beautiful, God orchestrated a series of events. And then Riley joined our family a couple of days after she was born, almost 1 year ago. So yeah, it was January 7th when she joined our family. So sweet Riley is going to be 1, which is just crazy to me.
That went by quick.
Again, Riley, completely unexpected, completely. We definitely thought we were not opening our doors again. That was not in the cards or the plans, but it's so funny. I listen to women sometimes around the playground at school, and they'll say things like, "Oh, I'm just sad that this is my last one," or "I can't believe that I'm done."
Never
and
know.
I'm like, "Listen, ladies,
you never know."
I thought I was done, like very done, and headed into a quiet, different season. But you never know what God has lying ahead for you, right?
Mm.
So it's been a beautiful year. I think anybody who follows me would see Avery and Riley's relationship has been probably the most sacred and special
It's
thing
beautiful.
about the whole journey. Like, they have the most intense bond, and I think it's been very healing for little Avery's heart to watch sort of her story unfold before her eyes in a real and tangible way, right?
And it is there is something like supernatural
Oh,
about it, because I even thought, like, for sure, as this was unfolding, Avery will probably go through a bit of jealousy,
a
because any
thousand
kid would.
percent.
Any kid has a sibling
sibling,
born
yeah.
to them, like, especially at her age when she'd been kind of the only
Center
young
of
child
attention.
for so many years. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that'll probably come, and
Yeah.
they'll work through it and it'll be great.
Yeah.
There's not been
Nothing.
like
There's
a
not been one.
like, to the opposite extreme, where Avery, it's like this is like her baby.
Yeah, it's so true.
Like, she takes such
It's so
responsibility.
true.
She just loves her. It's
Her little
wild to
angel. She'll
see.
call her little angel, my
Yeah.
little angel.
I
Every
love
single
it.
day,
Yeah,
I
it's
kid you
crazy.
not.
It's actually
Yeah.
crazy.
From the day she has come
Yeah.
into our lives. And I thought the same. I
Yeah.
thought, because Avery has been a little, I mean, they say you can't spoil a child, but we've just like doubted on her
Yeah.
so much. And she's
Yeah.
been the baby, the youngest. She has all these like young adults taking care of her. Everybody, she's just a highlight, right?
Yeah.
So I thought for sure she would
Yeah.
have,
You would expect it. It
yeah,
would just be
definitely.
natural.
But I will tell you, every single day that Riley has been a part of our lives, every single day she has said, "Oh, Mom, I can't wait to hold her. Oh, where is she? Oh, can I hold her now? Can I hug her? Can I hold her? Oh, she's so cute. Oh, my little angel. Oh, can I get her up?" She holds her. I probably have a million pictures of her feeding her a bottle at different every month. She goes into her crib, takes her the bottle, feeds her, rocks her. I mean,
Mm.
yes. Have there
So
been moments
sweet.
where it's caused her to ask questions about her own story? Yes, for
Right.
sure. So it's definitely she's asked questions about her birth parents,
Yes. Yeah.
as she watches Riley go for access. That's another very familiar term to her now. So she'll ask me, why don't I go to see my birth mom? And we've had to have some conversations that I didn't think we probably would have this early. But again, I just so trust God's timing and just the way that he's orchestrated all of this, that I don't know, his handprint has been so obviously upon every single little detail that I
Wow.
trust him with
Yeah.
her heart as far as like revealing those details too, in a very child friendly and appropriate way.
Yeah.
So their relationship has been beautiful to watch this past year. It's been beautiful to watch the older children. Our older children range from like 20 to 30. So to watch them bond with Riley and open their hearts again, I'm so proud of them, honestly. Um, Even the boys, the 20-year-old boys, they walk upstairs, "Hi, Riley," and just so cute and so sweet. And yeah, so everybody's doing really, really great. We are in the middle of a very complicated process of finding permanency for Riley within our family, in the form of custody, and hopefully a long-term goal of adoption. But right now, uh, Family and Children's Services is seeking an order of custody for us with Riley, but it's a very, very complicated and heart wrenching process to go through. I would say mentally exhausting, draining. Um,
Hey, can you explain that to us? Because I think, especially because you've actually worked in this field
Yeah.
prior to this year, you have such great knowledge about it. But I
Right.
feel like for the average person, you just think, oh, if a kid is in foster
Right.
care, they need a home, or they're up for adoption, that could just be like, oh, someone steps up, they
Right.
adopt them, case closed,
Right.
easy peasy. But
Yeah.
it is really not like that.
No.
Can you explain a bit of like the process of
Yeah.
that, of adopting
Yes.
through facts
Yeah.
and sort of the different avenues they could take,
Yeah.
and why the system is like it
Yeah.
is? Because
Yeah.
for us, I feel like
It's
it's like
true.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
why is it so
Yeah.
Why is it
difficult
so-
in a way?
Yeah.
That's a
Broken.
really good point. And first of all, I'll say just to define the difference. So foster care is a little bit different from what we've ever done. What we've done with Avery and what we're doing with Riley is called kinship care. So that's when you've been identified by a birth mom as either a family member, a community member, someone that they are that they know or that they have some sort of relationship with. So they're not going to place their child in the foster care system, they're going to place their child with you.
Oh,
But
okay.
you're overseen by
You're
family and children? Okay.
yes, you're
But it's just a
overseen.
different avenue. Oh, okay.
Exactly. So when you're signing up to do foster care, you're receiving monthly financial support. That's
Mhm.
one big difference. Kinship care, you receive nothing.
Okay.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Because it's the
That's
same thing,
Yeah.
right?
it
A
is.
different title.
Yeah.
Just because you know
Yeah.
the birth mom, you're not entitled to any sort of
Nothing.
support. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Also with foster care, you have to do what's called the Pride training, and it's I think I don't know. I could be wrong on this. I know some of the foster moms watching this will correct me. It might be a 7 to 10 week program
Okay.
where you know learn all, and there's a lot that you need to learn to be able to do foster care properly.
Mm.
With foster care, you are going in with eyes of reunification for that family only. So you are going in with my sole purpose and goal is to love and attach
Right.
and bond with this
Like you
child or
know it's
children.
temporary.
Yes,
Yeah.
until
Okay.
they can be with their parent.
Right.
With foster care, you're doing visits, you're doing doctor's appointments, you're doing access visits, you're opening up your home to workers to come in, you're getting your home has to be thoroughly screened, all of those
Right.
things. Kinship care, you also have to be approved, screened, a lot of uh, approval processes that have to go on
Okay.
as well. But there isn't the training, there isn't the financial support. That's sort of the big
Big things.
differences. With kinship care, it could go either way. So you
Mm.
could end up um, with the child going home to their birth parent, which initially we thought that would be the case. So with Riley, when Riley first came into our home, I very much had the lenses on of this is someone else's baby.
Hmm.
I am going to love her and love her well and bond with her and
Yeah.
attach with her and give her all of that goodness that she needs to develop a strong brain and strong attachment. But I am doing this for a season.
Mm.
As the case developed and more things were revealed, more conversations were had with family and children's services, it became quite clear that a reunification was not going to be possible.
Okay.
And I remember almost distinctly the day when I took off those glasses and put on the maternal glasses. And I think anyone who does foster care will be able to relate to this very, very well. They're very different. So when you have the lenses on as a foster parent, when you have the lenses on of this is someone else's baby,
Yeah. You're just caring for them.
right? But you're loving them. You're giving
Yeah.
them all that good stuff. You're
Yeah.
getting all attached. You're doing all of that because they need it desperately. But you know that this is for a season,
Yeah.
right? I remember the day when those glasses came off and the maternal glasses came on,
Wow.
and it's just very, very different. And so those maternal glasses have been on for quite some time now with Riley. And
So sorry, I
yeah,
don't mean to. I just
no,
slow it down
please,
for the for
yeah,
people. Right.
yeah,
So basically, in this situation, if you are kinship care,
yeah,
and for whatever reason it's becomes identified that reunification is not an option,
yeah.
if you as the kin provider are not open to adopting that child or
Yeah.
having them for permanency, do they then go into the regular foster care system typically?
Yes.
Like that,
Okay.
those
Yeah,
are the
that
options.
would
Either
be
they stay with you or
that
they
would
go
be
into, yeah,
yes. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
unless another family member stepped up,
Okay.
that could be another option. But
Okay.
yes.
Hmm.
And then they would go what's called extended society care. Like say there
Hmm.
was no one like in Riley's situation. Let's say Brett and I said, okay, this was just for a season. We're not doing this any longer.
Mhm.
Actually, that's what we were faced with at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Yes.
We were faced with the decision of because we did not see ourselves doing this again.
Right.
Right? Like we're getting older and this was supposed to be our season of slowing down and
Mhm.
supporting our older kids when they perhaps start. We just had one get married and
Mhm.
grandbabies will be coming soon.
Yeah.
So we really had to think and pray, and what we were faced with was, are we okay with Riley being put back into the foster care system
Mhm.
for probably 2 to 3 years before she would be able to go up for adoption? And that's the
Mhm.
reality that she would face, and Brett and I, we couldn't do it.
Couldn't
that
stomach
was
it.
that
Yeah.
was where we came to. That would be her reality. Her reality would be going into the foster care system
And why does
for
that
two to
happen?
three
Yeah.
Like,
years.
why is
our,
it 2 to 3 years?
because our adoption system is very broken in Ontario,
Ah,
and by the time children are actually able to become what they call extended society care, or it used to be called Crown Board,
Okay.
and be able to go up for adoption through the fax pool, have access to all of those wonderful families waiting to adopt children, it's usually 2 to 3 years old by the
That's
time they've
wild.
So there's
because
no adopting babies. Like when people think that, it's like the youngest you could get
through
would
foster
be like a
care,
2-year-old
I
through
would
foster
say
care.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
hmm
Crazy because of the
Now there are, of
damage
course,
that can be
exceptions.
done. Like in
Right.
2 years of, especially if they're not in the same foster home with consistency, if
1,000%.
they're having to be
To jump
bounced
back and
around, like
forth,
that would
yeah.
be
1,000%. And
tricky.
that's one of the things we thought of too. Like, you know, we have no idea. I know some amazing, I have gotten to know through this journey some of the most amazing foster moms. There's a whole community of them in our area that are Christians. They're amazing. They're phenomenal. Some are not, and they're also amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just incredible, incredible, um, incredible women. Um, but unfortunately, our system is just, it is a broken system, and you're right. You never know who a child is going to get, how long they're going to be there. Is it going to be a long-term placement? Is it going to be a series of short-term placements?
Yeah.
And then you end up with kids that are adopted at 2 or 3 who have attachment disorder and a wide variety of other issues, right? Because we know that everything that children need is given to them in those like very
Those
early
years, yeah.
years, right? Like all of the incredible strong um, bonds in the brain and all of that magic that happens with attachment happens in those very early years. So yeah, so that's sort of how we came to the decision that we were going to
So, because it came to be that like the reunification full time with birth parents was unlikely.
Was unlikely.
She,
off
so
the
it was
table.
like either you guys commit to like lifelong
Yes.
care for her,
Yes.
or she goes into the foster care system
Right.
to then be adoptable at 2 years old.
Right.
Who knows what happens in those 2 years? So then, what does that conversation between you and Brett look like?
Yeah, that was a hard conversation, honestly.
Because you didn't really see that coming at first.
No,
Right.
not at all, actually.
And you had already adopted fully her sister.
uh
Or no, is
no,
it like
Avery.
okay.
Avery.
Right.
There's
So
no relation.
There's
no
no relation.
there.
That's
Yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah. But speaking of that, Riley does have a sister, and we were also approached about having her in our home as well, a 2-year-old sister, and a really beautiful story. God is so good. He is so good and so present in all of the details. So Riley has a 2-year-old sister, a full sister, who has been in foster care since birth. And we were also approached about having her, and I did for a weekend. And you know, we all know when we're beyond our capacity, right? When we've said yes to something or said maybe to something, and then we go, okay, like I can't do this
Like
well.
9 kids is too much for you?
What do you
You
mean?
could, the 10th was
You
just
don't want
you,
10 or 11?
Oh, God,
you were overwhelmed with 9 kids?
guys, I
Amy.
remember it was this weekend, and Jalen walked in, my sweet little Jalen, and I had the newborn. Riley was a newborn. She had colic. I had the 2-year-old, and I don't know. I think I literally at one point was like spinning in circles, like, and Jalen walked in and she was like, "Mom, are you okay?" And I just knew that I couldn't do it well.
Yeah.
So
Because also it's not just like I don't want to say regular, but it's a 2-year-old who needs a lot of one-on-one
yeah,
focus
yes.
because they are going to, like you said, have those attachments.
Yeah.
So it's not just a 2-year-old that is like a 2-year-old maybe that you've had since birth. A
yeah,
2-year-old coming out of trauma needs
for
a
sure.
different level. So that's
And we're
something
talking
too.
access visits times 2.
Right.
We're talking
Yeah.
assessments time
It gets
2. We're talking
complicated.
doctor's
Yeah.
appointments times 2. We're talking about how would Avery do with that then
Right.
too,
And
right? Like
because
there was a
Avery was
lot to
5
consider.
at that time? 6? Or she
Uh,
just turned 6?
she had just turned 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're 6
It was
to
it was a lot. So they had said to me, okay, well, if you're not able to do it, do you know of anybody else that could? And I remember praying and talking to God, and honestly, I really did not know of anyone off the top of my head. And it feels weird to even be looking for a family for this beautiful little angel. But I just remember God placed Brett's brother and my sister-in-law on my heart. And at first I was like, oh, like, how do I have that conversation? Like, this
Yeah.
is, like, I think I invited them. Actually, I did. I invited them over for supper.
Because had they ever mentioned interest in adoption to you or anything? No.
No.
It was just a
Wow.
cold
Yeah.
idea from God. Where
But,
you're like,
but God is so cool. Like, the way
Hmm.
he takes care of his kids will never cease to amaze me. So I had them over for dinner and literally approached the subject. And of course, they went away and talked about it. And
Okay, hold on a second though. They coming for dinner. They have
Yeah.
no idea what you're
no,
about to say. Were they
no
like
clue.
blind? Like that's quite
And
the
I told them
conversation.
I had something I wanted to talk to them about.
What?
And we all live very busy lives, so we're not like we don't see each other super
So,
regularly.
yeah.
So I think they were probably like,
What?
what is
This
going
about.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they came over and I kind of laid it out, everything. And I remember like I remember thinking this sounds absolutely
Like why you're
Crazy.
saying it.
sane,
Insane. Yeah.
but yet so is this whole
Situation.
life. Like I
Right.
remember someone came over to my house the other day to drop off a Christmas urn that I had bought for someone, and she said, "Oh, I heard you have another baby." She said, "Oh, how Amy is that of
Yeah.
you?"
So
And I was like,
sometimes
it is a
anything.
really, I don't know, it's just this very interesting journey. Like you just,
Yeah.
I don't know. So it does sound weird. It does
Yeah.
sound like, oh, you're just opening up your, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange.
And so they're shocked. Like I'm so curious. You're explaining this to
They
them.
looked pretty straight faced. They didn't.
Right.
They
Okay.
looked
And they're
pretty.
not overly
No,
react. They're
they're
pretty
not.
calm
They
people.
are
So I could see they're just
They were
taking it
just
in.
nice and
100%.
calm.
Yeah.
Okay. And did they say anything at all? Or are they just like, we're going to think about it? Did they give
didn't.
you,
They didn't give me
so
any
you don't know if they're
indication.
walking away
No.
thinking she's loony.
She's a loony bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an actual
She's
loony.
cuckoo.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Actually, I should
Okay.
ask them sometime.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they jumped. They jumped in with us,
Okay. So
and
how long though? Like you have the
I think
conversation, they leave. How long is it to hear back from them?
a couple days, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, a
And
couple
then they call you
days.
back to say,
Yeah,
We want to
we're
do this.
in.
wow, that's wild.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think
So
they had to
crazy.
talk to their son,
Yeah.
and
So they have Riley's sister.
they have yeah.
That's
Now
amazing.
Wow.
that we're all in this sort of process of permanency, that's the proper word
Right.
together. So fax is looking for custody orders for both of us, but there is a legal aspect to this, and there is some fighting on behalf of the birth mom, and
Mm.
so it is turned out to be a very expensive,
Mm.
unexpected, because we both had to get lawyers, and so in some ways I feel not bad because I know that they have literally an angel that has joined their family,
Mm.
and I know that she's where she's supposed to be, and I know it's going to be the most beautiful. Just their family, you can't even imagine it another way now,
Mm.
right? um but it was unexpected, like when I asked them to join this with us,
Yeah.
there wasn't anticipated to be any of this extra stuff, right? It was
Mm.
expected to be a very smooth placement,
Mm.
and so
And
there's
is
been a
that
lot
because
of
the
unexpected.
society had already decided
The
that?
society had
So you didn't foresee
no,
any
the society
issues?
told me
Yeah.
it would be very simple,
Okay.
and so like we know that things often are not the way that they're initially explain that they're
Yeah.
going to
Hmm.
be, right? And so yeah, so it's been a very, very costly battle. It's been a very
Because you guys have to front your own lawyers,
yeah,
correct?
yeah,
Like there's no
you're right. So
help.
we're taking care of the children without support,
Yeah.
then the lawyers as well, and we're also facilitating access. So my sister-in-law and I supervise the access for the
Okay.
girls. So we meet at a local early on and we supervise the access,
Okay.
which is very mentally and emotionally
Mm.
Training.
very
Yeah.
draining in every way. I don't think unless you've done it, you could possibly understand, but it takes a great, great, great toll. And then we're in a legal battle now. So
Right.
It seems wild. Doesn't it seem wild that they have to pay that? Like
Yeah.
that you have
yeah,
to,
I've had a
you're
lot of people
not
say
like you're
that.
doing it a favor because that's not the,
Yeah, it seems weird to
it
say
seems
that.
weird to say that, but
Yeah.
you are really out
Yeah.
of good side of your heart
Yeah.
stepping up and sort of
Raising a
filling in the,
child.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then to be like, oh, there's going to be many thousands of dollars
Yeah.
also you have to pay to do that when I don't know.
And what
That whole
if you
thing's
don't have
weird.
the means?
Well,
Like,
that's
what
the thing.
happens?
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Well, I guess you would just go unrepresented. But I think we just wanted these girls, like, I mean, they have fallen in love with her, and I can see why. I always will feel like a guardian angel in the background, just keeping an eye on. Not that I know they'll always do a wonderful job with her, but she's just amazing. She's so amazing, and it's been amazing to watch God blend their family and her sweet relationship with their son, and just it's just been so incredible. But I've also opened them up to a world of so many ups and downs. The what we've had to go through. I mean, the last month it's really intensified. As far as, I mean, we are in love with these babies. These are, we view them at this point, like I said, those lenses of temporary are off. These are like maternal lenses on, right? And so we are fighting for them. We're advocating for them. We're doing everything we can to keep them safe, to keep them from getting injured, to keep them from, like, we have had to really fight. And with that just comes, it's been hard. There's been days and weeks in the last little while where I am like, God, you're good, right? You're good, and everything you do is good, right? And like, just hanging on to his promises, not only for me, but for those children, in such a, like, gripping them. Like, please, God, like, just reminding myself of his truths and his promises for them. Um, this journey is one that very much takes you out of control. And I am a person that very much loves to be in control. And this journey is one that's very much out of your control. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen that I have, at this point, I still have really no say. Like, I am at the mercy of what Family and Children Services says until I have custody of that baby. And it's scary. It's scary and it's hard. And it's, you have to go about your regular life. You have to meet the needs of your regular family members. You have to have a marriage. You have to show up in life in all the ways that you need to. But every day you wake up with this, like, this feeling, this fear. It's fear, right? And so, as beautiful as this journey has been, and it's been the most beautiful journey, if anyone is considering looking into foster care or doing kinship or getting involved with safe families, I'll talk about that later. I can't say enough about it. It's the most beautiful. For me, it's a form of worship, a very intimate form of worship, between me and God, and it is so rewarding and so beautiful. But in the seasons of uncertainty, in the seasons where you're out of control, where other people are making the decisions, where you could potentially end up,
like heartbroken and
it's really, really hard. Really, really hard.
I love how, oh, go ahead.
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I love how, well, I don't love how raw this is for you, but thank you more so for being so open about the rawness of it, right? That it's not picture perfect, that it's not some like beautiful, picture perfect story, because I think sometimes that's what people think going into this, it'll be great. And they go in with like rose colored glasses and I just want to do this, but to share, like, and see like the vulnerability in your heart, to be like, this is what this looks like. Be prepared. Is beautiful. So thank you for sharing, and just how difficult the journey's been.
Yeah, and I guess it's would you say that it's really one of those things, it's different for everyone? Because we had Natalie on,
Yes.
and their journey through adoption from Vax was less complicated than yours, but I guess that piece is there was no contesting from birth parents. So if the society deems the birth parents unable to care long term, they put them up for adoption. If there is no challenging, it is sort of a smooth, easy thing.
Totally different.
But in your case,
when with Derek and Natalie, by the time children are at that place. They're
Mm.
already Crown Ward. They're already
Mm.
extended society care. So parental rights have been terminated. So it's very
Oh.
different.
So they were already
Yeah.
further along in the process.
Yeah. So they are that adoption pool of people that are then, right, they're older children.
Okay, and that's why the children are much older.
Right,
Because
right.
oh, I see. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
where in our case we went in kinship route, which could lead to reunification or custody,
Right.
depending, right? Whereas foster care, you're always going into foster care with eyes of reunification. Now, sometimes do foster parents end up adopting? Yes. But you never ever go into foster care with the intention of adopting.
Okay.
Ever. It just sometimes could happen that way.
Because 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of, like, what does it look like for foster care
Well, that's
adoption?
a really good question. I'm not really sure what the stats are on that. I do know that they're really trying to reunify families wherever they can, right? They're really trying. I would say, just as someone who's worked in the social work field for almost 30 years, that the society tends to go in trends where they're reunifying a lot and then they're pulling back a bit. And maybe that depends on if something's happened in the agency, something tragic or something, I don't know. But it's hard to kind of say. But I think that they do really try to reunify wherever possible. But like, I'm so glad that we have some really good, strong foster homes in the Niagara region where people can, like, when I think about Aria's foster mama, she gave her from birth to 2.5 years old of permanency, stability, memories, strong family roots. I mean, she gave her such a beautiful, beautiful gift.
Yeah.
And like the fact that we have foster homes like that in Niagara is an absolute blessing.
Yeah.
And if we ever, God forbid, needed to rely on something like that, like just knowing that
There's
there are
something there.
good, stable, she had a beautiful life. And so what a gift is that?
And what a gift even for that, like, mom to foster. Like, I would have a very hard time raising
know.
somebody for 2.5 years and then giving them up.
I know it's a gift that not everyone can do.
No.
And again, it's being so intentional about those glasses that you put on. Like, and it's funny because people say, how do you do foster care? How do you get so attached? How do you have to?
Yeah.
You have to get attached because these children
They
need
need it.
it. They need it. So you have to love them with everything
Wow.
you have every single day. And yeah, I think she's in the process of grieving that right now, and I'm sure that a part of her will always be with her. And I've actually gotten to know her. She's a beautiful, beautiful human, and I admire the gift of being able to do that. In my case, it hasn't worked out that way. It's worked out that we've opened our home on a permanent, So, but it is a journey, and I would say getting into, because a lot of people message me. Actually, it's funny. Sometimes people will come up to me and say things like, "How did you get a baby? I really want a baby. How did you get a baby?" And I'm not kidding. I've had that numerous times, and I feel like I just want to be really transparent and really real that this is not an easy
Yeah.
journey. This is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
There has been days that I've woken up and thought, I mean, I've reached out to you. I've reached out to my little prayer group of gals and say, like, I don't think I'm going to be okay right now. Like, please pray for me. And that's another thing I just want to say. Isn't it amazing when you know people are praying for you and you feel held by their prayers?
Yeah.
Like that supernatural sustainment
Yeah.
of knowing that your people are praying for you.
Yeah.
And even Pam, when you said to me the other day, you said, I'm going to set an alarm on my phone and I'm going to pray every day for that judge. Because we were just praying that we get the right judge for our case. And like that is something that is such a tangible thing when people are asking, what can we do?
Yeah.
That is so tangible. Like for you to say that you're actually going to set an alarm and you're actually going to make them, because we all know how busy we get. Like we say we're going to pray for people, right?
Yeah.
But we get busy, and for you to ask if you could set an alarm, that meant so much to me. So that's something that somebody could do to help someone who's in this. I think we have to get better as the church, the big church, at helping in situations, number one, before children go into foster care. So with the single mom who's struggling, who everybody's fed up with, who people are angry with because she can't get it together,
Mhm.
who, people are too quick to pass judgment on. We need to support that mom so those kids don't end up in foster care. And then we need to support the families who are in the trenches doing foster care
Yeah.
and adoption, because it is holy work. It is messy work. And if we're not held up by our brothers and sisters in Christ, if we're not held up by the church, I don't, I don't, I don't know how you do
Well,
it.
and like in the Bible, when we are told like repeatedly to care for
Yes.
widows and orphans, like children in foster care are the modern day orphans. We don't have
Yeah.
orphans on the
100%.
street in North America like
Yeah.
maybe some other parts of the
Yeah.
world or back in the day. We don't even
Yeah.
have orphanages,
No.
like
Yeah.
really, but we have foster care system.
Yeah.
Those are the orphan children
Yes.
that we are commanded, right?
Yeah.
Even as
Yes.
believers to take care of
Yes.
them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why we don't do it better. I don't know what I was
Mhm.
thinking about that when I was preparing for this. Like, I'm sure some churches do it
Do you know
well.
what? I think it's a Canadian thing because when we lived in Nashville for a while,
Yeah.
I will say U.S. churches are they talk about foster care
I
and
could see that.
adoption
Yes. I
constantly.
could see
So
that.
it's so normal there. Like many families have adopted children. Most of them are out of foster care. That's one thing I remember thinking, this is so cool. Like they were so
Wow.
behind it, or at least the
Wow.
churches that we'd gone to
Wow. I
were
love
so
that.
behind that, and continue saying this is a need. These children need you. In Canada, I don't know. We don't in churches you don't it's like a non-issue. We don't even really talk about it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's different. I don't understand
Yeah.
because it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening
Yeah.
in our churches, especially the size of
Yeah.
some of our churches.
Well,
right?
and in Niagara specifically, like
Yes.
was it you telling me or somebody else, like there's not even enough foster homes.
No,
Like
exactly.
kids are living in hotels with
workers.
yeah,
staying
it's
in-
wild.
Yeah. I will say, Central Community Church does
Mhm.
have an adoption support group, an adoption/foster care support group
That's
running out there.
amazing.
Yes.
So I actually
Wow.
attended. I was so nervous. They have a group on. I think I saw you the
Wednesday.
first night I was
Yes.
there.
Yes. Wednesday
On
night.
Wednesday nights, they have a group, and Brett's in New York on Wednesday nights, so it's just me and Avery and Riley.
I was not there. Sorry. To adopt. Let's just make that clear. I was there for another night. This
Oh,
so
yeah.
that
There's lots of groups. There's lots of groups.
There's lots of
happening
groups
on
that night.
Surprise,
You know,
Ellen.
Yeah.
She's in the waiting.
Yeah. I'm adopting.
But I was like, it was very out of my comfort zone to go, and I had like having both girls, and I was like, can I do this? But they actually at Central they have a really cool thing where they feed you, so you pay like $5 for your meal, and you can sit in the little cafe and you can have your supper together, and then you go off to groups. So I met some amazing.
I love that.
I will tell you, there is something about walking in a room where you just take this deep exhale because you know everybody around that table is in the same war
Yeah.
and they're in the trenches and they're exhausted too. And they are sometimes the humor in that room is so dark and like twisted, but like, and I think it was last week or the week before I had gotten some really awful news, like 15 minutes before we were to leave for group, and probably we should have stayed home. But I ended up, when you're dissociated, you're going through the motions,
Yeah.
but like you're not even really there. It was kind of like that. And when we walked into that room, and Brett just happened to be with me, he always is in New York, but he just happened to be with me on that Wednesday. And I broke down publicly around that table. And the leader of the group said, I just really feel to pray for Amy and Brett. And they all surrounded us. And Riley was crawling everywhere. And I know my husband was so awkward with these guys' hands on his back. I can just imagine because my husband is so like, he is the one that is doing that. He is not, and he's on the floor. And they all laid hands on us and prayed for us. And I wept. But there was just something about being in the company of people who are in the trenches, who know what it feels like to wake up and not know the certainty. But keep loving anyways. Keep showing up. Keep fighting. Keep, even loving the birth parent. You're so angry, and you're so angry at, maybe lies or deceit or choices, but yet you have to show up because I have to face my God and know that I am walking this out with honor and integrity, and I have to love her too.
Yeah.
Right? And so just being in the room with people who know what that's like. And so that's been a real blessing to me.
Wow.
And There's also an organization that anybody can talk to their church pastors about called Safe Families. And it's an organization in the Niagara region that actually helps keep families, children from going into foster care with a faith, through a faith
Lens.
Thank you. And they do phenomenal work. So Teresa and Tim are the Niagara leads for Safe Families, and that's a great way to get involved, because a lot of people have asked, like, how can I get involved? What can I do? If you're a Christian and you want to get involved and you want to either host children overnight in your home, be a mentor for a young mom or a mom who's trying to keep her kids from going into foster care. You can, be someone who helps them pack up their house to move, or do deep cleans, or babysits for them, or they just do phenomenal work. So I definitely wanted to shout them out, and they will come out to your church and they will talk about what they do and how your church they'll actually train a team of people
That's so cool.
in your church, so that you can help in a way that isn't enabling or debilitating, but still helpful, right?
Wow.
So they're an amazing organization.
And we'll link all these in
Yeah.
the episode, I think.
And it's so good, like, having some churches like Central, the amount of community stuff that Central does is so amazing. I think New Hope Church is like that too. Like, I think in Niagara, those are the two big churches that are really out in the community, offering supports, offering groups and things. I love that. I just think that's what we're supposed
Central
to do.
also has divorce care. I think New Hope might too, but it's another group for divorce, like, which
so
wasn't
huge.
around
because not everyone can afford like a counseling, but this is almost like a free something you can attend for, like, help and support, right? That's so
100%.
amazing. I love
There's
that.
something about it. Like, you cannot do this in isolation.
No.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Yeah. But for some reason, I just feel like people shy away from it. I don't know.
Well, because it's hard. You know what? It's funny.
It's hard to be vulnerable.
Totally. And I've said this thing before that I don't know. I've had people have pushed me back, but I always had said this thing before where I think, like, pain is contagious, and people like to be like, no, it's not, but it is, because if you're around somebody who's deeply hurting or going through pain or something hard, if you have a heart, that affects you. It spreads to you. You take on a part of that burden. It causes you grief and pain. And but the beautiful thing of that is sometimes people need to share their pain with you. They need you to help carry their load, because they can't do it on their own. So when community works the best and, like, in a God designed way, I think it is that it's someone having pain and others willing to step into the life and say, this is going to be hard and messy for me. And it's not really my problem, but I love you and I'm willing to do it. So true. Right. And but not everyone does. Some people look at it and go, ooh, I don't want to get any, I don't want that getting on me. Like, I can't, and rightfully so. Sometimes you're not in the place in your life where you can take on someone else's pain. And so you have to know your own limits for sure. But there's a lot of us in a lot of situations that are, it's almost like selfishness, right? Like, we could, but we don't want to, because it's hard. It's so hard.
And you know what's funny? I remember being that young teen mom going to, I think we went to Word of Life Church at the time in St. Catharines. And I was like 17, and I had biracial children, and I was on my own, and I was still fighting through my schooling and everything then. And I remember, like, what it would have meant to me for someone to open up their home. Like, I remember when people used to get together after church on Sunday, and they would go to people's houses, or they would do whatever. Like, what it would have meant to me, instead of just, oh, I love you, I love you. Like, I remember people would say I love you so flippantly in church, but, like, invite somebody over who you would normally invite over. Love on some, it would have been the greatest expression. And actually, I did have a family that ended up, Paul and Dale, right? They were, and they ended up being like a spiritual mom and dad to me, and they're still in my life to this day. Like, it changes your life, right? But I think, and I have to get better at that too. Like, to just not be afraid to open up extend our table a little bit. I mean, we say it. We buy things that say it at Hobby Lobby or wherever, right?
So true.
But, like,
when push comes to shove,
do we really do it?
But you're good at that too. Like, you're both good at that.
I feel
actually,
like my
you guys
capacity.
are but you are so, with every moment that you get, you are supporting people, meeting with people, encouraging them, going for, even if it's like, I'll go for a walk with you, I'll meet. You're very good at that, and so are you. You guys are both.
So are you.
the
It's like,
heck?
yeah, so are you.
You're the queen of that.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
guys,
But
like a big
but
love
you know what?
fest.
But
Yeah.
aren't we hard on ourselves though?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we are hard.
'Cause,
on
yeah, you
ourselves,
do
and we
feel
always
like
wanna
you're-
do more.
And because there's so much need,
There's
then you
so
do
much
see
need.
people that you're like, oh, I could be helping them
Yeah.
too, and I'm not.
I
And
know.
then
And
you
then
feel
it's a
bad.
capacity issue. Like you're right. Like
Yeah.
when do you have the capacity, or when is it too much where it's starting to affect your own family life?
Yeah, true.
Right. So there are
True.
times where boundaries do have to go up.
Yeah.
And then there's, also at what point are you enabling someone? Kind of what you're talking about, say families or
That's why I love that they do
Yes.
that training.
Yeah.
because I
Like,
do
kinda like
think
the
there are
buffer, yeah.
times where you're like, no, now I need to be more firm
Definitely.
because I'm not enabling this behavior
Yes.
anymore,
Yes.
but I want to be able to help you see
Yes.
the bigger picture,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so some like usually amongst a lot of the mostly women that I walk through, there are times where like Mama Leah comes out and I'm like, and we're done here. Like not done with you, just done with the enablement.
Yes.
And now you got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. And now you've got to, because enabling somebody doesn't help them.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Makes it worse. Yeah.
You need to empower them. We need to teach them that they can do it, because a lot of times it's lack of self-respect, or it's lack of feeling unworthy, lack of confidence. So it's like, no, we got to build them up to be like, you can stand on your own 2 feet again.
And we need to make sure that we're not helping out of our own. Oh, they agree. The
Oh,
birds are like,
amen.
yes, Leah.
Wow.
Amen.
We have to make sure that we're not helping. That we're not helping out of our own brokenness,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
I have to catch myself with that too. Like Amy, how much of this, like, how much of what they're really?
Yeah,
They
she
don't
give
know
like
what
a
to
minute. Where did
say.
they're fighting
all of a sudden? Okay, you were asked a bunch of questions.
Yes.
You put it out on your Instagram,
Yes,
so
I
I
love
don't
that.
want to miss these questions. So
Yes.
what are some of the
Okay.
questions?
So let me just refer to my
Yes.
phone a little bit here. Sorry, not
This is not a
meaning
no
to
phone zone.
be-
Yeah.
to be rude.
You're welcome to be on your phone.
Okay, so someone wanted to ask what my thoughts were about an open adoption, but not with contact, but just to keep roots. Like,
And can you explain the difference to people
Open and
between
closed.
open and closed?
Yes. So I think a closed adoption, now I could be wrong. Again, I'm sure there's people that are watching that could correct me, but a closed adoption I don't think happens as much anymore. I think openness, especially through child protection services, family children services, they really try to have openness to some level. So
Yes.
it might look like
They can email updates or
right,
something. Okay.
or like holiday visits,
Hmm.
or keeping a keepsake journal, or maybe FaceTime several times a year, something like that. Although, at the end of the day, when you're adopting through family children services, there are like reasons why parental rights have been terminated. So for safety, right,
Yes.
a lot of times you do lean more towards closed. One of the things that I've really done is I've really tried to lend my ear to adult adoptees and what they're saying about what they wish would have happened, or what their journey should have looked like, or would have looked like.
That's smart.
Yeah, things have really changed. So back in the day, it was very common to like not even know you were adopted
Yes.
until you were like 18, 19,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden it's like, surprise, we're not your mom and dad, right?
And then and then a lot of those kids go through trauma to be
So
like,
much
I
trauma.
always knew that there was something different
So
about
much
me.
trauma. Yeah.
So true.
So now they say the very, very opposite. So with like when I did the research to kind of know what to do with Avery, they said normalize it right away, right from the earliest books that you read.
Wow.
I actually brought some phenomenal books. So
Yes. We want you to share some of them.
this one is the most beautiful book. If you have a child that you have like has been in foster care and has a birth mom, this is called Why a Little Chick Couldn't Stay with His Birth Mother, Deli Duck. It is the most, it talks about the birth mom in such a respectful way.
Wow.
In one point, it references her off chasing butterflies, and instead of tending to her nest, and when she comes back to the nest and someone asks her why she, abandoned her nest, she says, well, no one ever taught me that. No one ever told me. And it's a really beautiful story. So this is on Amazon. It's a great, great story. And then a more well-known one is Anne Voskamp's book, Your Brave Song. It's another really beautiful story about adoption. Yeah.
I love that.
So I guess the adult adoptees now are saying, just to get back to that, you need to talk about it. You need to normalize it. You want to I remember my first time mentioning it to Avery, even though she wasn't old enough to know. She was probably 1.5, and I was brushing her hair. And I remember not wanting to introduce it to her because I wanted her to just have perfection, no pain, no
Yeah.
hurt. I didn't,
Yeah.
and I remember saying, "Oh, I love your long hair so much. Your long hair reminds me of your birth mom. She had beautiful dark long hair." And that's how I started. And little by little, every time I would make little comments, Avery does know now that she is adopted.
Yeah.
And the other day we were driving in the car and she said, "Guess what, Mom?" And I said, "What?" She said, "I told my whole class today that I was adopted." And I said, "Oh,
Whoa,
wow, Avery, that's
huge.
amazing." She says, "It's not a secret, right?" I said, "Nope, it's not a secret." And I said, "That's incredible that you shared that with them." And so she has like this very sense of almost pride about it now. We're doing a Christmas drive for children in foster care, and her and I are going and filling up a couple carts full of toys. And she's going to go take them to Family and Children's
love
Services
that.
and fill their. So, like,
She's a part of it.
right, there's a lot of ways
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Bring them
And
into the
sees the
journey with
good in
you.
it, not just the broken, like rejection that maybe
Right.
kids can feel, but to see the good in it.
Right. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of kids at her school that are also adopted. And so at the adoption support group night, she sees them. And so she looks up to, James in grade 4, and he also was adopted. So that also is like, it's almost cool,
Yes.
So
That's
I think
cool.
if anyone has a newly adopted baby or is about to start that journey and you feel like I did, like scared to introduce it, don't, because it's actually really, really beautiful.
Good and beautiful for
right?
them. Yeah.
And our kids, they need grit and resilience and hard things too, right? And God has them. And we want to protect our children from everything, but like
We can't.
we can't.
No.
And God has all of he has their hearts. He holds them. He can help them manage all of those details. And they're a big part of their story and how they're going to
Yes.
help others too. Like we don't have to hide
Yes.
those things. We don't want perfection for our kids.
Yeah.
Perfection doesn't develop any grit or resiliency in
No.
them. It doesn't give them anything to give to others.
They don't
Do you know
learn.
what I'm saying? Like,
And you protect them for long enough, then they become teenagers or adults.
oh, then they're totally lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, open versus closed. So that open, it can look very, very different. Closed adoption would be no contact. I think that contact is good, provided it's safe. And very dependent on situations.
Yeah.
So, like Avery cannot have any contact; it would be completely unsafe.
Right.
So there's none. Riley will have some, but I need to be very, very careful.
Yep.
And very, very safe. And so I think you just have to be very, very careful. I've heard beautiful stories where there has been able to be relationship and there has been able to be contact and there has been able to be like a Christmas dinner or something like that. Do I hope and pray for that down the road? Yes. I hope and pray that Riley and Avery's parents come to know the Lord. I know that Brett prayed over Avery's birth dad and embraced him and prayed for him. And I pray to God that that seed was planted and that he, that someday that changes his life.
Wow.
But yeah, so that would be one of the questions. The other one was, how do we start the journey of adoption if we're looking towards adoption? And the only way I know of is through Family and Children's Services. So that would just be a matter of calling the agency and asking to speak to someone in the adoption department and starting the journey.
Right.
I do know that it takes some time.
So there's a lot of training, you said too, right?
Training,
Courses. So
yeah.
You could just get
Background checks,
started
there's
with
a lot
that
of-
first.
100%. Yeah. And I think, again, remembering that most likely you wouldn't, I think a baby would be, although it does happen, but more likely you're going to get a toddler or a preschooler or school age children. And the other thing you're going to want to ask is, what supports are going to be available for me after the adoption? Because I've met a lot of families who have adopted children and then there's been a lot of issues and they've been left with no support.
Wow.
And I can't even imagine what that would be like. Because some people do adopt big sibling sets and sometimes it goes really well and sometimes there's of course,
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
And once that adoption is closed and final, you don't have any more support, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
making sure that you ask all the hard questions.
At the beginning.
Yeah, because sometimes, when you're battling infertility, a journey that I don't know anything about but can only imagine, there's that desperation too, right?
Yeah.
And so just making sure that you're asking lots of questions, making really informed decisions. But yeah, it would be as simple as contacting the agency and getting involved. Safe Families, again, beautiful, beautiful way to get involved in, maybe hosting children for a weekend, supporting birth families. I know they've asked me to come out and speak at their groups. They have like support groups for moms who are, going through seasons of crisis.
Yeah.
But like they really are the church being the hands and feet of Jesus in a tangible way. And the fact that they will come into your church and speak to the congregation or also equip
Wow.
people in
Yeah.
your church to do that work in a healthy and safe way, I think is beautiful.
Yeah.
So that also Teresa or Tim, we can link their information. I did want to say too, Foster the Family. This book has been a godsend to me. Jamie Finn has an Instagram page, but this book is so full. She has a podcast book. It's so full of good, life-giving. I don't even know what I would do without this book.
Okay.
So that's a really, really good one. Raising a Secure Child. That's also a fantastic read. We'll make sure that these are linked. But I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope
I
that,
think it was very helpful.
yeah.
Yeah. It's such an amazing
Yeah.
journey and just an amazing option to grow your family
Oh,
and
Yeah.
just to ask God, like, is this something that, you're asking us to do or you would equip us to do? Because the need is out there for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to say it is the most, I can't imagine my life without this journey, and not just because of the kids. The kids are like the beautiful
Yeah.
bonus of it, but the walk, the things God has shown me about his love,
Mm-hmm.
the things that he's healed and revealed in my heart, the
Mhm.
joy, the intimacy that I have experienced with
Mm.
walking with the Lord through this like beautiful form of worship and surrender. I can't even, you guys, like,
Well, it's like a couple episodes ago when Becky talked about how you don't, I
Yes.
love when she said something like, you don't, you don't have to fear the hardships that God, like, that you go through because you can't imagine
mm,
what God sustaining you
oh,
feels like. You can think
Yes.
like, what would I do and what would it be like? And but you can't imagine. And that's sort of what you're saying. You can't
Yes.
even imagine
The
the
grace that God gives.
totally,
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And
and
like
the
that
beauty, like
supernatural, like,
the beauty. Like I
yeah.
think people think, oh, this is too hard, and I
Mm,
don't know, like it's so complicated. But what you get, the way God takes
Yeah.
care of you when you
mm,
take care of His kids, the supernatural sustainment that I have experienced since opening my life in my home in this way, I can't imagine. I wouldn't want to live my life without knowing the Lord
Wow.
in this rare, beautiful way
Beautiful.
where like I have to be so dependent on Him,
Mhm.
and yet, and every word that I speak over those children, every prayer that I say, every affirmation that I give,
Mhm.
every, like, it's like this, but it's also like this.
Yeah.
And
mm-hmm,
it's like this form of intense worship.
mm,
Like,
Mhm.
you've given me so much. You've done so much. You've redeemed so many parts of my story. But now I get to give back to you through giving to them
mm,
Yeah.
and
mm-hmm,
seeing the beauty,
Yeah.
like, and introducing them to you and seeing
mm-hmm,
that relationship develop and the beauty in
Absolutely.
that. And
mm-hmm.
like,
And even the generational seeds planted, like I
oh,
would be shocked
Yeah.
if like some of your 8 million
that's
children that you
true.
have don't
Yes.
Yeah.
become foster parents or
Yeah.
adopt
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like I think you are planting a generational seed of
Mm.
like opening your heart and showing your kids
Yes.
not they don't have to be afraid of it
Yes.
because they've lived it.
And
Yeah.
That's
it's
been
big
their
and it's
Yeah.
family.
messy, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
to just run in off the deep
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Totally.
That's if nothing else, because as hard as it is, and it's so hard, but
Mm-hmm.
the beauty in walking every day, like fed and sustained by God and desperate for Him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want freedom. Like people are like, aren't you tired?
Yeah.
Don't you want to be like living the life of, pedicures? And yeah, but no,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like this is
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
rewarding.
It's
so
rewarding.
rewarding and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it really is a story of just Christianity, right? We're
yeah,
God's adopted children.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it's true.
it really is like the perfect example of,
true.
I think, Christianity.
It's true.
And if you can do it and you have the heart to do
Yeah.
it and you have the means to do it,
Yeah.
um,
And even if
do
you
it.
can't, you can support someone who is.
That's right.
Drop off a meal. Like, that's such an easy way, right?
Yeah.
I will never, the
Yes.
gift of a casserole, man.
Yeah.
It is like,
Yeah.
I could drop to my knees and weep at a casserole or a pot roast
Yeah.
on my front step.
You're like, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
And even just like that prayer thing, like you said, like I think oftentimes we don't want to be like, I'm praying for you because it feels like not enough.
But that was
Actually,
a good
that's
one.
all we
That
need.
was a very tangible, like,
Yes.
I don't know where you got that set a timer from, but I was like, oh,
Because I actually set a timer for all the
Well,
important
you
things.
do.
Yeah.
I like set a timer to pay my kids
Pick up
up
your kids.
because I know myself and I don't want to be that person
Yeah.
Yeah.
that says I'm going to pray for
I
you,
know.
and then I would rather like the message come through. I open my app and I'm gonna be like, okay,
Absolutely.
at whatever time,
Yeah.
9 a.m. or 9 p.m. or
Yeah.
whatever works for you. I'm gonna literally set an alarm.
Yeah.
It goes off, and then you take that moment.
I'm gonna steal
right?
that because that made me feel like, oh, she's not just saying that.
Yeah.
And I felt it. Like, that's the beauty too. There's certain
You
times
do.
in life, like a grief, a death. That's when you feel that,
You
like,
feel it.
that peace bubble. That
Yeah.
what is? I think it's Tracy Hoffman that says love bubble. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's like that very supernatural sense of his presence when
Yeah.
people are holding you in prayer. It's just a beautiful thing.
And it reminds me, even talking with Becky, how like when she was like, I was so tired I couldn't pray anything, and how it reminded me of how like Aaron held up Moses' hands. And I remember even when I first went through my separation, I remember there's a moment where I literally, because I was still praying and fighting that he'd come back, and I was believing. And I remember I was like, I don't even have another word to utter. Like, I cannot. And I had a bunch of people from the church that were like, we're going to do a 24-hour prayer night where everyone takes a 1 hour block, even in the middle of the night, for for 24 hours, so that you just know. Because I think it was like right before a court date, or it was like right before something.
Beautiful.
And they took 24 hours, and there was like a sign up like in an email, and everyone took an hour, and I will never forget it.
That's one of the most tangible. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna it's gonna be something I take
It
with
was
me
actually
for sure.
Erica Eldridge that
Really?
started that.
I love that.
She's
What a
Not
great
Eldridge,
idea.
but now she's
Yeah.
Erica Lucas.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
She's a
she she was like, let's do this, because like you're weary, and like we're just gonna hold a 24-hour prayer. And you sleep. She was like, you don't sign up, you sleep.
Do you know, it's fun. Becky said something else too that we're going back. Becky's a good episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
But one thing she said too that really struck me is she said, we're not promised, like, a lot of things, foster care and adoption is you don't know like what tomorrow holds. Like, you could, a lot of times, I mean, foster moms will all be like, amen, amen right now, because you literally don't know. You could be out at a soccer game and get a text message that they're coming to pick up your child that you've had for a year and a half, and you're not going to see them again, and they're being returned home. That's literally what the journey is like. But Becky said something about, none of us are promised any of our kids' days.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
They're all on borrowed time. Their
It's
days
true.
are
numbered.
They are, and they're all planned and orchestrated by him.
Yeah.
And there's something about like that release and surrender. And when you have teenagers, you get really good at that, because I remember people would say to me, Amy, let them go. They're not yours. Release it. Like, God's got them. And I would like release them for a little bit, and then I'd pull them right back, and then I'd release them. But it is true.
I'm not ready for the release.
He holds, right?
Yeah.
He holds their days. We don't. We're not that powerful.
I was talking to a young adult last week, and she was saying that she was like, she moved from like across the country, across like Canada, to move here. And she was saying, yeah, like when right before I left, my dad like prayed over me, but he like prayed and said like, God, like I prayed over them and we dedicated them to you as babies. And if we've done our job well, we pray, and that we do believe that our job is to release them.
Yes.
It's not to hold them. If we've raised our children right, it is to release them. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like my mom praying like, Lord, take her before the age of accountability. If she's not going to grow up
that was another
right. But like I can't do. I'm like, Zeke's in grade 11, it's grade 10, and I'm fully aware that he's getting to that age where I'm like, I've got 2.5 maybe years with him before if he decides to go to school. And I'm like, what do you mean this prayer to release? I thought it's like prayer to hold on to. But it's true, like God has their days.
But it's also beautiful.
Yeah.
Because we are not that powerful. We could stay up all night stressing and worrying and whatever, but God has them.
God has them.
All of them. Whether it's foster care, adoption, children we birthed, our own lives.
And thank God.
He's got us.
Because it's what Becky said, again, back to Becky, like, oh man, but he can do such a better job.
He can.
And I'm like,
No.
But I do know that.
Yeah.
But it's so hard, like when you just want to hold on to something. So wow.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you're
it's a
such an
pleasure.
inspiration.
You
I know
are.
even in our, like, I have the privilege of being like such close friends with you, and I know in our friend circle and in our community and in our church community in Niagara, like anytime your name's ever brought up, people are just like, oh, she's amazing and she's such an inspiration.
Yeah.
And there's not that many people that that nobody ever has a bad word to say about you.
Oh,
In
that's
fact,
so
people just
kind.
gush about
That's so
you and your
kind.
family and it's like your heart that people
Yeah.
have been so touched and impacted and
I
inspired
think
by
people
you.
think I'm a little crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs
But I think
sometimes.
people think you're inspirational because the
Yes.
way that you live your life, it is so
But
inspiring.
you know, it's because I have been at the very depths, at the very, very bottom, and if it were not literally for the grace of God, I wouldn't even be alive. So I think,
That's a good point. Like, if you have not heard Amy's past episode,
Yes. Go back
to
and
hear
watch
this
it.
woman's story from childhood to where she is now. If you think if you ever think I'm too far gone or nothing's possible or not for me,
Go listen
your
to Amy's
story will make you realize
And it's a
anything is
two-part.
possible for anyone.
It's a two-part.
Yeah,
We did 2 episodes.
that's true. Yeah.
So this is Amy's 3rd episode.
wow,
I know.
We must like you.
I know.
We must like
So
you.
we'll
We
have
don't
to
have a lot of
love
regulars
being
on here.
I love being here.
You're
This
so
was
great.
fun.
Yeah.
It was
And
fun.
I loved the festivity
I
of it
know.
all. And
It's true.
It's true. I did feel a little like I got up this morning and made sure all of my Christmas lights were turned on in my house.
Yeah.
I knew
well,
you two
Leah
would be
will
looking.
kick your
Like,
butt if you
I know.
and
It's
by
true.
me too. So
It's
I'm
true.
surprised you didn't pull out color for us.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
I know it's hard.
I do have one Christmas sweater, but I
One
wore
day.
it before.
One day.
Stay tuned for Pam in red. I really think you would just like,
Yeah.
you guys, don't you think she'd be really amazing in red? I mean, she's
Yes.
amazing in black, but red would just be.
I think it's like I like to blend in, so I feel like color
Nope.
makes me feel like
Pam,
I'm not...
it's your year to pop,
It's your year
girlfriend.
of color. It's your year
You
of
know when
color.
people like choose a word for the year?
Yes. Color.
Yours is just color.
Yeah.
Color.
Nothing
Okay.
significant.
And I can think of some other relevancy to that.
Yeah, we're gonna color your world.
And we're gonna land you a man.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
No.
Amy.
Oh,
now
darn
we're
it.
talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Leah,
like this is.
Leah's in all
I
her glory.
knew that Amy and I would hit it off.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
you
are a
two
lot
are too alike.
Actually,
You guys are so alike.
okay, I
Yes.
bought a 12-foot tree off of Leah. We didn't even talk about
She
that.
did. Yes.
And I have a Christmas tree in my living room.
That she bought off me. That my
Off
husband sold
Marketplace.
from underneath me, which I didn't even know he was selling.
And I didn't even know that I was talking to Leah's husband.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
No,
"Honey, is this
I did not
proper
realize that.
husband?"
Oh my goodness.
like,
You guys
wait.
are hilarious.
And then she
when,
was like,
when Leah texted me that you were coming to pick up a 12-foot tree for her, I was like,
Of course.
absolutely,
Of
that would be
course she
happening.
is.
The two Christmas crazies are buying decorations
Actually,
from
it
each
is very
other.
funny. We are
very
alike in
similar.
Yeah.
There
quite
was
a few
something else that
ways.
we were talking about, and then I can't even remember.
I can't
love
either,
or
but there's
something.
been
There's
a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah. I think even our clothing, like there's some
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you're both
things
fashion.
where
You both like
there's
the
some
trucker hat.
Trucker hats, our tracksuits.
Yeah,
Tracksuits,
there's some.
yeah.
There are a lot of
And we
things.
both love you.
Yeah.
Aw,
I love you
see?
guys too.
So we're just like your little snuggly elves,
Perfect.
all
Christmas
nestled into
elves.
you.
Love it.
Bringing color into your
know.
life.
We're gonna bring color into her world in more ways than one. But guys, it has been amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sitting along my fidgetiness. I think I was really fidgety today, but
A little bit. I noticed. I think your neck is bugging you.
yeah,
a little
well, yeah, it was. I had to turn
Mhm.
halfway through because I think you can only sit kinked like this for so long at the age of 40 before your neck starts to be like
frozen shoulder, perimenopause.
yeah, perimenopause, like everything. But guys, it has been great. Thank you. Remember to subscribe, hit that like button, share, and tune in next week for another episode of the Sunny Side.
Bye.